But let's address another company, Endurance Technologies. We've got on board with us Ramesh Gehaney, the ED and CEO, joining in on the show. Ramesh, hi, good morning. Good to have you on the show. Your stock has given up 25% since August last year. You came to the market with so much optimism, Ramesh. What, according to you, is the reason for the correction? Would it be tough environment? Or would it be disappointment with regards to expectation versus reality when it comes to performance, would you say, was the letdown?
That's a good question. In fact, as far as performance of Endurance is concerned and compared to the market trend, as far as the market movement is concerned, I don't think they've got a direct correlation because the sentiment of the market and the trade market is a bit different as compared to what happens on the ground, which is different. We have grown last year approximately 20% on a standalone basis and 18.2% on a consolidated basis. So Endurance is on its growth path, and I don't see any shake-up over there, except for the fact that some part of the demand is reducing, and there also I find it that there are plenty of change points in between. A few of them have already left, like the inventory problem is already over, the election. Mr. Modi is back, so all those speed breakers are over. But slowly the numbers should come back once the economy or the consumption patterns increase.
Is this kind of a situation lasts? Because history will repeat itself. When do you see similar kind of circumstances at play, and what happened after that, and how long was the slowdown?
See, it's difficult to say how long the slowdown would be, but I can only say that the change points which were there earlier are probably done with. The only change point that is coming forward in front of us is the BS4 to BS6 transition. Now that's a big change point because the vehicle configuration is changing. The strategies of the implementation strategies by the OEMs would change. So that's something that will happen around in December or late end this year. So once we cover that up and the BS6 comes into play, then probably Q1 of next year or maybe Q2 of next year should be really good.
So on the back of that, the kind of order inflow from Europe as well as the incremental growth that you actually do see in the EV segment, any plans to supply as well to Indian players? I mean, just talk us through the plan there.
Yes, we've got a clear attention onto the EV business. We are constantly engaged with our customers for the EV platforms. As far as Europe is concerned, we've already, something known as PPE, that's the Premium Project Electric, where we've acquired some businesses for the EV platforms. And similar is the case of India, where we are already engaged with our customers to do something different over there and acquire those businesses which are EV related.
Also wanted to understand about the decline in auto sales, because now it's in the third quarter. What, according to you, is the reading and the understanding of this entire situation? Would you say the slowdown is cyclical, or would you say it's a structural process, according to you? And what is the sense that you are getting from clients? How soon could we see a recovery really come by?
See, it's very difficult to get that answer because I think the ground reality is being experienced by the OEMs. The true answer to that will come from the OEMs because they are facing the end user directly, and how the market scenario is changing is truly known to them. But if we look into our business, we have acquired business which takes care of us, acquired new businesses to take care of our growth path ahead.
When you say that next year could be better, are you referring to the base effect? Because last year, closer to Diwali, the sales had started slowing down. So this year, obviously, when the base got diluted so much, and this year when numbers come out on a diluted base, things will look up. Are you talking about base effect recovery, or are you talking about genuine recovery?
No, I'm talking about general recovery, and I did not mention that it's this Diwali. This Diwali, of course, the festival season pickup will obviously happen, and I don't see any reason why that should not happen. But if you compare last year, there was H1 was exceptionally good, and the base numbers went really up. Now, since the base numbers are not, those numbers are at a different base level, we are finding it difficult to absorb the slowdown. In fact, the slowdown is there. The numbers are not as promising as we had seen last year, but I don't think this is going to stay permanently because, as I said earlier, the vehicle configuration is changing. There's a very strong change point between BS4 to BS6. So that will create some kind of slowdown because the implementation strategy is not known to anyone except for the OEMs themselves.
What is your understanding of this migration to BS6? Do you think bulk of the migration now is something which assembly lines, inventory levels, OEMs, they all have adjusted to, or this is something which is going to have serious implications in the second half? Because when I speak to auto companies, independent experts, they are of the view that auto companies will be forced to come out with a big discount because a lot of vehicles would be unsold as BS6 migration will happen.
No, not really. See, it's a bit different. When BS4 happened, there was a cutoff point when the government said that after 1st of April, you can't sell and there was no registration. So all the vehicles, were sold at very heavy discounts. So I don't think lightning will strike the same place twice. Everybody will be cautious about what they are going to do. Some kind of parallel production will happen when BS4 models will also be manufactured and BS6 model will also be manufactured. But I think it will be a bit of a smoother transition when we compare it to BS4 transition. So BS4 to BS6 will be probably much more cautious and it will be much more well planned.
Just get a couple of company specific details, because Bajaj has been consistently outperforming its peers, Bajaj Auto that is. Have you seen any incremental growth in the orders vis-a-vis other clients? I mean, is it the entry segment which is seeing higher demand? How has demand for other segments been? And if you could also give us some color on how demand from, say, the other players, a Hero MotoCorp or a Royal Enfield has been?
Hero MotoCorp, see, let's look at it a bit differently. We have got a service level with Bajaj Auto since the past 30 years plus. So very obviously we enjoy a higher share of business and a greater penetration level. The new OEMs like Hero, whom we have been servicing since the past 3 years, we have procured new orders and they are very much into play right now for the Halol project, where Hero is manufacturing 2,600 vehicles per day, and that's going up to 4,000 this year. And we've got a single source status over there, so that's a kind of upside that's going to happen with Hero, irrespective of the fact that some volumes of Hero have been cut down.
Okay. Just give us your sense of the current demand scenario and the fact that you're still seeing fairly strong growth going forward as well. Do you feel that there's any any vulnerability at this point given the scenario? Margin sustainability, for example, seems to be a huge concern as well to some of the experts. What's your view on that front? What's the kind of outlook that you're looking at?
See, some kind of changes do always happen. When you see a transition like BS4 to BS6 happening, the vehicle configuration changing to the higher levels of ABS implementation, so the cost of the vehicle goes up, So there's some kind of, slowdown which happens. Till the time the market, the end users, they absorb this cost. Now, if I look into, had it been a one OEM who was forced to introduce BS6, it's not the case. All the OEMs have got to go on to BS6 parallelly. It's not affected to one. So the end user does understand that yes, the price of the vehicle has gone up because the configuration and the quality or the standard of the vehicle has gone up. So for an extra price, he's getting a better vehicle.
Okay. Finally, just a breakup of your orders, the kind of key clients, that you're looking at. Orders worth 1,000 crores now as well. And just, how you're planning to just ensure outperformance going forward. The fact that you've managed to actually deliver those numbers despite all of the concerns that we just talked about. Just leave us with that today.
Yes, see, there are two things to this. One is that the orders that we procure, and the other thing is that the penetration level that we have with different customers. Now, we find that there's enough headroom for us to penetrate into companies like TVS, where we have just started, or we are likely to start in the next couple of months, and we've got the orders for brakes. If I look into Kia Motors, where we've procured orders worth 265 crores. So these are new orders coming up for the growth prospect. And then secondly, the premiumization is also going to help us, because inverted front forks and higher configured vehicles will help us as we are moving in. The second part, that we are moving into the ABS modulator, which was a natural progression for us, as we are one of the dominant players in the brakes category. We're doing hydraulic brake systems since so many years, since 15 years plus, and now ABS coming into effect. We find ourselves in a fairly positive position, because our ABS modulator is way ahead on testing and I find that we should be able to start the ABS modulator also by Q4 of this year.
Thanks so much for joining us, Mr. Gehaney, this morning and talking us through some of the developments there at the company.